Okay. I want this. Okay, I think I fixed all the things. Let's see what this troubleshoot. Okay, I think your microphone is picking up sound from your speaker just here. Okay. This is interesting. Okay. We are re-recording this because there is definitely some tech issues happening. I'm going to work them out because I'm not sure exactly why this happened. So I don't know why I am not the host yet either. But we did have a little bit of a tech issue, and I wanted to re-record this because this is super important. I'm really excited to share this with you guys. Manage streaming. Okay. Let's see here. This is off. And really, we don't really need the other one, but I'm going to keep it on for now. Hopefully, it looks like the sound's good now. Okay, our sound's good, our recordings are good. Welcome if you're just joining us and you are on this journey of tech with me. It's been fun. So welcome. This is our Selfie Love workshop. We're gonna start everything from the beginning because heck, like sometimes technology likes to play really fun tricks on me. So lots of that happening in my life these days, but it's all good. We're gonna get through it. I'm gonna shake things off. I'm gonna put a little bit of music on because this is gonna be our recording, and I want you guys to have everything that I was bringing to you from recording number one. So we're gonna start with some music. I'm gonna shake it off, and we're gonna get into it. I'm so excited to be bringing you this workshop today. So if you are jumping on now live with me, I'm excited to have you. And if you're watching this on the replay, then welcome as well. We're going to listen to a little bit of music, take time to stretch it out. As you're jumping into this video, just like allow yourself to kind of anchor in and listen to the music. If you can't hear my music, put your own on. I'm listening to some Whitney Houston because the song has been taking me on a journey the last year. It's called Higher Love. It's about like, connecting to the higher vision, our higher love, our higher self, right? So like, let's connect to that and get into it. Woo! Allow yourself to stretch a little bit. Allow yourself to move a little bit. Grab a little bit of a warm drink or a cold drink. I hope you guys are having a good morning. Headed into your afternoon. I had kind of a quiet one, which was nice. Don't always get quiet mornings around here, so it was good. Yes. And in this time, if you're jumping on live, you can jump into the chat. I do have chat on my phone. I think that's why it's not letting me be. I want to be the pin person. Okay, beautiful. Hey! Okay, that works. Sick. We're always learning new things around here, guys. See, everything's a transformation. Swear to God. I want to unpin myself. I want to see if I can just be the only thing. Everyone. Da-da-da-da-dun-dun-dun. Okay, cool. Sweet. Oh, this is cool. Playing all sorts of stuff over here. Okay, cool. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it today. I am really excited to be bringing you guys this workshop. It's called Selfie Love for a reason. It's about learning to love ourselves through the selfie journey. Let me see where I am. Okay, perfect. And it's gonna be both practical and embodied. And so what that means is like, I want you to take this practice and be able to use it in your everyday. But also there is like deeper meaning in the selfies, and I really hope that I'm able to help you with that, to take you on a journey of maybe self-discovery, self-transformation as you're moving through this work. You're also going to get tangible um, practical stuff that you can apply to yourself and your everyday as you are maybe on your own journeys, or if you're just want to take some hot pictures just to like spice things up. Maybe you have a business that you want to use these for, to just document. This is going to be great for that. Um, and just using this as a practice to maybe like give yourself a little extra love here and there. So um, let's get into it. Let me share my screen with you guys. Let's see here. This will be fun, 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 fun. Okay, so we're gonna share screen. So hopefully I'll be able to see everything that I am seeing in just a second here. And go. Okay, cool. It's cool. I can see everything on my phone too. Sweet. Okay, awesome. All right, guys. So welcome to Selfie Love. Like I said, today we are going to get into learning how to take our own self-portraits. As well as learning some lighting, some angles, some posing. I also want to get into a little bit the mindset when we're really not feeling like taking those self-portraits. How can we get into the vibe? How can we use this as a way to give ourselves a little more love, maybe when we're not feeling it, when we were not feeling ourselves that day? But maybe we can use this as a way to move that energy and tap into something that's maybe rooted inside of us. So lots of layers here that we can tap into, which is going to be really cool. So I wanted to make a big, bold statement to you guys today is I hope you will never look at your selfies the same after today. I say that because I believe selfies are a way to connect with ourselves in a deeper way. You can pretty much go into any social media platform right now and you will see hundreds of thousands and millions of people taking selfies, and that's their journey, right? We're kind of giving a bird's eye view into their journey. A lot of times we say we only see the highlight reel of a person's life through their selfies, and sometimes that makes us feel maybe like a little less than, or it may make us feel like, man, I'm not doing it right, right? So, but I want to reclaim that. Selfies have been around for forever before the camera was even invented. Artists such as Van Gogh, Frida Kahlo used their portraits as a way to document themselves and what they were going through. You may have heard of Van Gogh's Blue Period, where I don't know exactly what he was going through, but I'm sure he was going through something, as artists do. We take our life out on our artwork, and it creates kind of some beautiful things. Frida Kahlo did the same. As she was laid up in bed, she started to paint and draw herself, and you can see like the beauty that she has, and also the what she was going through at the time. Feeling caged in. She was going through stuff through motherhood, and you see that through her self portraits. And so I want to take today to sort of like reclaim the selfie as a way to document our art and where we are, as well as like just give ourselves some grace in that like our selfies don't have to look any certain way, and we can use them in any way that we want, and they don't have to be shared with the world either. They can just be for us. So if you're new here and new to me, I want to just give you a little intro on me. I am Jill Borelli. First off, I am a present mama. I am a mama to a 4-year-old little boy named Isaac. And I've also been newly fiancéed. So depending on when you watch this video, maybe it's down the road, I might still be fiancéed. I'm really enjoying this period And I'm kind of in my transformation as well, going from a single mom to a partner to a fiance. And so this is just like, one of those steps. And I really want to like embrace that and not rush into the next thing, because that's a whole other chapter. And I really am enjoying this chapter. So shout out to Justin. I love that man and happy engaged to him. And so I'm also part of a blended family. He also has two little boys. So our house is always full of lots of energy, lots of chaos. Got blessed today to only have myself here after 8 o'clock and just sort of like kind of like relax into my day. So that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Um, and yeah, so that's a little bit about me. I started my photography journey 15 years ago when I was in college. I studied photography and I studied photojournalism and fine art photography. So I both documented sports and like action things that were happening like in real time, and as well as creating art in my classes and learning lighting and how to create really beautiful um, images, beautiful imagery. And so, but I also can say that I really started my photography journey probably years ago. I definitely always had a camera. I was the girl that always had a camera on her field trips. Um, my grandfather was also a hobbyist photographer, and um, I have still like a lot of his equipment. His lighting is still, it's actually in my studio. I have a lot of his old cameras. They don't really work anymore, but they're beautiful, remembrances of the things that he used to love. And so I love bringing that into my spaces as well, because it's definitely a testament and um, something beautiful I like to like honor him with. And so definitely in my lineage. But anyway, so about 8 years ago, I started my business. I want to say it's actually a little bit more like 9 because I was actually started my journey to becoming a photography business when I was living in Peru in 2015. So actually, that's like 10 years ago almost now. That's kind of crazy. 2015, 2016. And so when I was living there, I went down there to just experience a new culture, to live in a foreign country. And I really just enjoy the simplicity of life there. And I got to really connect with myself, decide that photography is really the pull. I traveled around the world just to find out that the thing that I loved is actually the thing I want to do forever. Um, and so I started taking photos of couples. I did some boudoir. I did some branding while I was down there. And it was really like kind of told myself when I come back to Buffalo, I'm ready to go full time with this. I told myself I would take 5 years to see if I can get it off the ground. And I'm going into my eighth year of business. So that's pretty awesome. I feel really grateful for all my clients and anyone that has been on my journey with me. It's been a doozy. um, I also studied art therapy in school, so you can see that a lot of my art brings in uh, this kind of like therapeutic element, I guess, like the internal inner work element that I love so much. In art therapy school, we are always told like everybody is creative, and I really do believe that when we can get into and find the thing that makes us feel like time doesn't exist and we can be in flow, that is like what I feel is the creative energy. And it might not be painting, it might just be like sitting and cooking and like crocheting or whatever it might be. It might not be an art form that you think about. I know for me, math sometimes is like that, which is kind of a funny one. But I feel really in flow and I'm doing numbery things and I really like that too. So anything that makes you feel in flow, I think is creative. And so a lot of my clients come in and sometimes they want to collaborate on our shoots, but also sometimes they just want to um, allow to like for surrender and to be my canvas and allow me to make art with them. And so I think that's really kind of the beautiful thing about photography is we can be as interactive or passive as we want to. Um, I'm also trained as a somatica coach for relationship, sex, and intimacy. Um, I decided to become a somatica coach because I saw my clients having these journeys and also like not like wanting to, some clients coming to me be like, I'm not ready to do this yet. And because I didn't want to always send them off to learn on their own, I decided I wanted to become a coach and be able to help them on their journey to becoming to do the things that they wanted to do. but you are just being one of them, and finding the pleasure in life again. I went on my own journey that's kind of brought me to this, and maybe for another time, I don't want to take up a million of your hours. You can always ask me about it. But our sessions are an experience-based coaching practice. So I take you on a journey. We become into a relationship within our coaching containers, and it's about experiencing what it feels like to be in relationship, and to go through maybe what you're working on in dating, maybe what you're working on in your personal relationships, maybe your relationship with yourself or parents or even with your children. Our life is made up of relationships, and sometimes we aren't actually told how to have them. And so, in our experience relationship lab, we are able to do that and actually get the relationships you want so you can have not just better relationships with the people that you love, but with yourself as well in your number one relationship. I am also Reiki and 1 and 2 certified over the last couple of years. So I'm very much into the energy work. I use this a lot on myself, and I kind of use it just to kind of bring into my work as an extra little magic bonus, which I love, love, love. I'm also trauma informed when I bring people into my photography practice, especially in boudoir, which is a very intimate. Um, I like to tell people that I'm trauma informed because a lot can come up. Sex and intimacy can sometimes be feel very taboo for some people, and there can be trauma around it, whether it was something massive that happened or maybe just something that is small but that feels really big to you. It can come up, and sometimes during these sessions, like it's a time to alchemize that and take ownership of it. And so I like that I'm able to kind of help people even process their trauma through our artwork and stuff together. So I also identify myself as a world traveler. I live throughout Peru. I've traveled to Southeast Asia and around the States. My mom is from Texas, so I spent a lot of time traveling down there as a kid and found a lot of love in that. My transformational journey happens while I travel, and so it's a big part of who I am. I also love exploring the taboo and my edges, probably why I'm in the work that I am. Anything that has a little bit of spookiness to or nuance or a little bit of like the shadowiness, I kind of love and I'm drawn to, as you can probably see in a lot of my artwork as well. I'm also a huge personal growth nerd. So anything that's going to better me, better people around me, anything that I can help to just have a more satisfying, exciting, beautiful life, I love and I love to tap into anything from astrology, human design, personality tests, like anything that's around the brain and neuroscience. I love, love, love all that kind of stuff. So if you want to nerd out with me anytime, I'm here for it. And it's ever evolving and changing. And so this is kind of what this day is about. It's about transformation, right? And our like how we evolve all the time. I mean, I jumped on this call earlier today with wet hair. It's already curly and huge. It's like you can just see the transformation in just an hour of our lives, what about the time span of 6 months to a year to a week. So the rundown of today is we are going to go through this practice. There's going to be practical stuff. I want you guys to leave here having the practical, the things that are you can implement right away, whether you're out with friends and family and want to like play around with like taking pictures of each other, taking yourself. You'll have that stuff. So you're going to learn your equipment, some camera settings, your lighting, your posing. Um, and also, I want to introduce you guys to the transformational piece. So, like, how can we be more intentional with taking our selfies? How can we create maybe a ceremony or habit around it, in ritual, and getting into the vibe? Like, when we really don't want to take our photo and when we're really not feeling it, how can we get ourselves to feel it or feel what we're feeling and bring that into our creativity and into our art and into our selfies? So, why the heck do we even take these things, right? So, a few things here. We want to document maybe a new look from like to vacations, to accomplishments, graduations. You like just got your hair done, things like that. Maybe that's where we start. That's why we document things. We want to see ourselves differently. Maybe we're starting to go through a transformational experience physically. We see that a lot, especially in weight loss from people that are like, um, going on like trying to lose weight. They want to see what their progress looks like. But we don't always do the emotional changes. So like that's one I want to kind of touch on a little bit later. Just have fun. You just want to like try different personalities, tell a story, get creative. It's like something that we have in our back pocket all the time that we can use to just like play for, especially if we're being bored. Like, I don't know. I don't get bored too often, but sometimes it's a fun thing to play with if you ever get bored. Um, and it's a way to connect with ourselves, have self-love, and build a relationship with ourselves. There are plenty of things that we don't like about ourselves, and sometimes it takes just taking a really good look at ourselves to start to love it, to start to accept it, to start to notice like the differences in it. And I'm even question like when's the last time you really looked at yourself in the mirror, really looked at a photo of yourself and all the things that your body gets to hold. It's actually pretty powerful. It's something I would highly recommend doing is just taking the time to really look at yourself and even ask yourself like why don't I actually like this? Is this something that I decided or is it something that I got from something else? It's a little bit of that belief work about what we should and shouldn't look like and what we should and shouldn't love about ourselves. So something to ponder maybe for another time. These are a couple of my pictures. So I actually hated taking selfies before COVID. Never took them. Or I did, and I was like, "Oh, these are." I feel weird about it. I felt vain, and so I want to like kind of set that like I get it. Like if you're like, "Oh, I don't like taking pictures of myself. It's kind of weird. Like, what am I going to use this for?" I feel you. I was there. So, but during COVID, I was alone. I didn't have clients because we weren't allowed to, and I was bored, honestly. And I was like, I'm gonna start taking photos of myself, documenting this time. It's a really interesting time, right, that we're living in. And I kind of look back on it, and this is kind of cool because I didn't really look at these photos until putting this workshop together, and it's been really fun to actually play along with and see kind of like where I was when I took these pictures actually of myself. And so I also was going through a lot at the time. I found out I was pregnant, which is really unexpected. And so I was kind of coming to terms with that. You know, I was living alone at the time. And so I had a lot of time to connect with myself and like really embody what I was going through and to go actually from really being this sort of single woman really and to a mother and um, that entire journey and deciding that like to become a mom and after that documenting being in a relationship and then that relationship not working out and coming out of that and healing. And so these are a couple of photos from COVID. I'm gonna have more for you guys tomorrow on like what else I experienced at the time. Um, and just really looking back at these and seeing, wow, I really came from this girl, this innocence, this like understanding of one thing and really moving into uh, something completely different. So just wanted to share that a little bit with you guys of my journey. And so let's get into it. Okay, so we're gonna grab our cameras. You're gonna grab your phone, your camera, whatever you're using, your tripod if you have one. I have a little mini one here that I'll show you guys. Um, but my favorite way to honestly take selfies is to just have my camera, a rubber band, and a candle. And I'm gonna actually pop out of this for a second because I want to show you kind of like what I do. Okay, I think yeah, you can see me pretty good here. See if I can. Okay, good enough for right now. So what I usually do is I'll take my camera, put a rubber band around it, and then I find a candle to anchor into. This one I think might be a little big, but maybe it'll work. So then I take my candle. The reason I use a candle is because it's heavy enough that it holds my camera in place. So then I'll be able to like set this somewhere. I usually put it in a stack of books, a chair, a counter, whatever. And it keeps my camera straight if I'm wanting it straight. And then I can also like even add something back here, and that's a little advanced. But like if I want to like pop it up a little bit, it gives me like kind of that straight tripod look if you don't want to invest in a tripod yet, or if they're kind of just seem silly to you, which they might. So really simple. Like you don't even need that, but I like it just to give myself like a placement to be able to use my camera a little bit better. And so, okay, let's see. Yeah, so really all you need is your camera and your phone. If anybody does have a phone that they're using and like, or a camera that they're using and they're wanting settings on it, just reach out to me and I can help you with a few things. So the first part is setting up your camera, and this is kind of fun things to play with. I have an iPhone, so most of my stuff is for iPhone, but I have helped people do this that don't have iPhones and they have similar settings. They might be in just a few little different places. So this video here, I'll start it over for us just so you guys can see. Oops. Oh, and that we are all done. We don't want to be all done yet. Y'all tech. Okay, pause it. Okay, cool. And it will let me pause it. Sweet. Okay, so setup. The three things that you want to work on is your contrast, your f-stop, and just setting your timer. Three things. There's so many more things in there that you could use, but just to get started, just play with that. So the contrast you'll find in your settings here. Let's see if I can play this. I go into portrait mode first, and then it's going to see the contrast and exposure. It's this little plus and minus. And you can see when I bring it down, you can see these little highlights happening of what's really bright. So maybe I want it to be like, I want to see my shadows. This was at a coffee shop. And so I brought it down just a little bit. And that's probably what I would do for self-portraits, especially if I'm wanting those moody things. Then I'm setting my timer here, going into this spot, going to 10 or 3. And then I'm going to this f-stop right here. Okay, cool. You guys can see that. So the lower I drop this f-stop, and I'll play that again for anyone that's like doing this in real time. And you can always rewind this video too to like play around with it. I am in the portrait mode. Just to give you an idea, it's not just in the phone mode. I'll just go into the portrait mode if you're wanting all of this. You can do just your exposure in the photo mode normally, and I know some other phones have some crazy different things that you can play with. So, but I want to give you 3. The f-stop is going to tell you like, is your background blurry or not? So usually when you get into portrait mode, it drops that f-stop down. So the smaller the number, you'll see here, the smaller the sharpness window will be. So only like the cup here is sharp and everything in the background is blurry. If I brought this up a lot more, it is going to sharpen things more back here. And so that's the depth of field. And so the depth of field increases. You can't see my hands. But the depth of field increases. And as that number gets smaller, you can think of like maybe 1.4 is an inch of what's going to be in focus. And the bigger that number gets, the more that is going to be in focus. So hopefully that helps. I always say to use your timer on 10 seconds to start and on burst mode, just so you can go back and play and like look at pictures because you might move a little bit. And as you get better, maybe you do 3 seconds or you're closer up to your camera. Maybe you get a little trigger for it. That's another thing for another day. I don't even use that, but I know people do. So what do we got next? Okay, some bonus tips. So these are some things I just started doing. I did not do these in the beginning, but thought they would be a little bit helpful for anyone that is like really getting into it. First, you can zoom out. This is helpful for editing and cropping. So you will see in your phone that there will be numbers at the bottom. It says 0.5, 1, 2, and 3. And if you go into there, then you can like kind of see that you can zoom out. The only problem with the zoom out is that you get a little bit of distortion. So remembering that like there is distortion happening. And sometimes that's like fun to play with. So like maybe it makes your legs look a little longer or depending on what angle you're going at. But just remember it's a camera and like it's not going to always be accurate to what real life looks like. So just kind of like notice that there is a little bit of like distortion in the lenses as wider as you go. Also, we're going to clean up your backdrop to get rid of any blankets, fix some pillows, shut the drawers, clean the lines. Nothing is hotter than seeing a really cute butt shot and then the drawers are all open in your background. Like, I know it's so like simple and maybe you're just sending it to a partner or like just for yourself. But you're gonna like them a lot better, I promise, if you just clean up a little bit. I tend to like very simple, minimal backgrounds, and so that's what I tend to go towards. But if you like a lot of like accessories and like flashiness, maybe, or your room has a lot of pictures in it, then just making sure the lines are straight. I think that's kind of the important part. Just clean it up a little bit and get rid of any clutter. I also suggest using the black and white filter, especially if you're going to be doing this for more creative portraits. This is kind of a fun way to see your highlights and your shadows. So kind of a good way to like notice where is it really bright. When you see the white, that's your highlights. And when you see their blacks, that's going to be your deep shadows. And playing with that filter can really helpful is starting to see light differently. Um, and then turn on your grid. Your grid mode is in your settings. So if you go to your settings in your phone, maybe I can, for those watching on the replay, I can maybe drop something in here on how to do it. But there is, if you go to your settings, and there'll be like a grid mode option. And I just added that in there recently. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And it helps you with composition a little bit. So before I get into more of that, I was like, I feel like I have to step back a minute and people are like, oh, what do I wear? I get that question a lot, especially when people are coming to photo shoots. These are selfies, so it doesn't matter what you wear, whatever makes you feel really good and fun and you just want to play in. I tend to do a lot of my selfies in the morning. So usually I'm in my sweats or like sweatpants, maybe a sports bra if I'm like working out or something like that. I don't think about it too much, to be honest, but I like stuff that like maybe is a little form fitting, so I don't have to worry about like holding it or pulling on it as much. But if you like that, that's cool. Um, Go grab something in your closet that you've never worn or that you've been waiting to wear and take pictures in it. That's kind of a fun way to like embody a new you. So think about that as like, this doesn't have to be like what looks really good. Maybe you're just embodying somebody new. You want to express a different part of your personality. Um, so I ask myself, how do I want to feel? Or how am I feeling right now? So if I'm feeling like, oh, I'm feeling kind of ragged and rigid, like maybe I want to like tap into my sensuality, maybe I'll just take some selfies in my underwear. If I'm feeling like I'm, feeling rageful or like pissed off. Honestly, I use this sometimes when I'm pissed off and I want to just like feel like raw. Like maybe I'm really just in my sweatpants and a t-shirt and I like really want to like be in that rawness. Also, I can do that in my underwear too. Whatever you're like feeling or wanting to create, do it around that. Don't think so much about it. These are selfies. You don't need to, no one has to see them if you don't want them to. Birthday suit's always good too. So if it makes you feel good, wear it. If you want to feel fierce, you want to feel confident, you want to feel like a badass, you want to feel sensual, sexual, like go for it. See and play. It's a great practice too if you have a boudoir shoot with me. Take some pictures in your lingerie. I don't have to be the only one taking them. You can take them too. Okay. I know we're doing a lot of practical stuff right now, and hopefully this is landing for you. Um, and you can always slow things down. Like if you were watching this on the replay, pause and go. If we're doing this in real time, like um, go grab your outfits, set your camera, pause me. I'm still gonna be here when you come back. Okay, so finding a light and where the heck do I put my camera? So a lot of this is what we're gonna get in tomorrow, a little bit more angles, a little bit more posing. But I want to get in a little bit today because you're going to play after this. I'm going to give you the homework to go play. It's going to be great. So like something I want you to never ever do is put yourself right in front of a window if you're trying to take a picture of your face. It's never going to work. It's not going to look good. The only way to do it good is if you have really good lighting and still like not great. It's just not gonna be great. So don't do it, okay? And you might be looking at this picture like, oh, you're set up a setup next to a window. Well, I'm not. I'm actually like on an angle, and you'll see that in the next slide that this is actually an angled pose. And this is like what a lot of my clients and people want is like, how do I take these kind of moodier images without putting myself right in front of a window? So don't do it unless you are really shooting a silhouette. And silhouettes can also be kind of tricky. So just be mindful of where your windows are. Um, So another rule to be mindful of, especially when we're like, where do I put my camera? Is whatever's closest to the camera will look the largest. So if I'm pushing my hip towards the camera, that's going to look larger than my waist. If I'm pushing my chest to the camera, that's going to look larger than anything else. So a lot of times we want to push our hips back. Again, this is more stuff we're going to play with tomorrow, but I want to give you that little tip of like, when you are trying to figure out where to put your camera, where are you gonna be and what do you want to look the biggest in the camera? Is it a butt shot? So maybe like the camera is behind you and you're leaning forward. So that may be just get a little indication of where you want to put yourself in alignment with your camera. Allow yourself to move. This is another like posing tip. So where are we putting our camera? Place where you're able to maybe move a little bit. I think that's always a good thing to be able to do if you're able to take your camera out of your hands and putting it on something so you can move your body, you can touch, you can like maybe pop yourself on the floor and roll around. That's cool. That's cool. Um, something a big one I wanted to just go over this because this is a big one will see is people like being in direct sunlight and you get those squinty eyes and you're like, why do I have this? I think a lot of people know this now, but what you're gonna want to do is like you do want the light on your face, but you want to be in a shade where the light is on your face. So again, like how when the window's behind you, it's going to create a silhouette. You want to get that light in front of you and as much shade you can put your face in evenly. That's going to give you the best lighting. The sun is still going to be hitting you, but not directly, and that's going to create like a beautiful, just even light on your face if you're looking for that kind of look. So just a little heads up there. And then you also can use the light to highlight your best assets. So if you're looking for that booty shot, whatever the light's hitting is going to be highlighted, and whatever is being blocked is going to be in shadow. So they're giving you those deep, kind of fun pictures. I put this photo on here specifically to show this highlight. So my window is to the left of me here. I don't have a large chest, so coming in and being able to have these little lines over me, it's giving me more of a, like a chest than it would be if I was just standing in front. I'm also have a little bit of a highlight on my shoulder. I'm getting this really pretty rim light on my face, so it's giving me lighting on my face and also on my leg. Having the light back here is also putting a shadow on this part of me because there's no light over here, a little bit, but not much. So if I have any like, blemishes here or things I don't want to show, that I'm able to do that. Like this is all going to be in shadow and I get to highlight the things I want to be seen, like my hands and my chest, and anything that I don't, like many things that are like I'm just not feeling. Maybe I have like a little crease in my body here that I'm trying to hide or something like that, or not wanting to embrace at the moment. I can kind of put that in the shadowy parts so I can highlight the areas that I'm really focusing on for my images. So the window is kind of like over my shoulder, if that makes sense. It's not right next to me, it's over my shoulder. And I believe our next slide is actually going to take us to what that looks like. Yay! This is my fun diagram for you guys because I was like, how the heck do I show the different kinds of lighting that you can do? But I feel like if you are wanting to take a screenshot of anything, this is the one. This is you hanging out on the bed, okay? Doing a little boudoir action. So to the right, so if I have windows in my house, I have windows in my house actually to the right of me right now. And my bed's over here, or a piece of furniture, or a chair, whatever it is. And you want that beautiful light on your face. You're going to put your camera right next to your window. Not You can do it right in front, and that's going to give you a beautiful shot. But I like a little bit of an angle. So putting myself 45-degree angle with my window. We're going to go a little bit into this more in a couple days too, or tomorrow, I'm sorry. To get these angles a little bit right, but I think the visual kind of helps. So I'm over here, my camera's over here, and my window's over here. So keeping the camera sort of like near the window, but not directly in front of it, it's going to give you a little bit more of these shadows on the face, which I like because I think it creates more depth to the face rather than just like full sun or full light in my face. Some people do like the full light in their face. If you are standing right in front of the window, that light is gonna fill in every single divot or blemish or crease that you have. So a lot of people do like window light like that because it's gonna fill in anything that like you may want to cover up. If you have a scar in your face, it'll like kind of deaden anything that may be showing up on your face, any textures on your face. If you come a little to like the left of the window, you're going to see a little bit more texture in the body, texture in the face. You can see a little bit of wrinkle in my forehead. That's just a scar I had from when I was a kid, but it doesn't bother me. And I actually like seeing a little bit more of that like movement in my face personally. So whatever you choose, which one feels good for you. Then we're going to come to this 90-degree angle. So if I am right sitting on my bed and I have the window to the right of me, so the window's to the right, my camera's in front of me, this is a 90-degree angle, right? So this is an image that is shot with a 90-degree angle. I tried to do all ones that were more in the that I took myself for self-portrait. So you can see there's a lot more texture on my face. There's a shadow right here. The highlights are on this side, but there's definitely a lot more texture than it does in this picture. You can kind of see it in my forehead and in like my dimple here. You can see even in my collarbone, there's a little bit of like texture and you can kind of see the definition. I like these best when I'm starting to take boudoir pictures because I can highlight things, but it also can create depth to my images. Now, if you come over to the left over here, this is the picture from the other side. So I'm here on the bed, standing next to the bed or laying on the bed, and I'm shooting at a 135-degree angle. So the window's way over here, I'm over here. It's not 180, which would be that silhouette shot. I'm a little off to the side here. And so that's gonna create these deeper shadows and deeper highlights in your images. So let me check. Okay. And if you have questions on any of that as you're moving through it, some people have windows on both sides of their room. So you're gonna get, I don't have a picture of that today, but if I had like windows on both sides of my bed and I'm here, you're gonna get light on both sides of you. And I actually do have an image from my studio that I can share tomorrow. Those are really cool for creating bodyscapes, which are those really close, beautiful images that look like mountains out of your body. And those are gonna highlight the sides of your body. And those are honestly, mwah, chef's kiss, like one of my favorite things to do. Okay. So, I know that's a lot of information to take in. You may have paused this a few different times. And I'm excited to kind of get into this piece. So, you guys have you have your camera settings, you have your outfit or whatever you're wearing in the moment, you have your equipment ready. You picked a spot in your house, maybe based off of like a little bit of the lighting that we covered. Now it's time to get into the vibe. Like really getting into what are we doing today? What like maybe we're taking 10 minutes to do a little self-love with the body today. Maybe this is part of your journey of wanting to love in yourself more this year. So something I love to do is I light a candle. I put the music on that I want to like connect to. So maybe it's rage music. I know I've been feeling some rage lately, so I've been listening to some stuff that's like kind of getting that energy going. So it's like a little bit deeper. It's maybe a little like louder, more expressive in that sense. And I allow myself to move to that. I stretch to that. I get into like what my body wants to do. Maybe I'm like kind of like shaking a little bit more. I also like to light candles during those times, incense, something that's going to bring my smells out. Um, and sometimes I actually will put on different types of music and I'll meditate and I'll breathe and I'll just be still and be like, what do I need right now? How do I want to feel right now? How do I want to connect with myself? What does my body want to tell me today? This is really important when we're like maybe feeling like a worry coming up or like a fear or something like is like on our mind perpetually. Um, this practice of taking portraits is somatic. So you are moving with what is going on with you if you want to internally. Um, and you're creating art with it. You're going to see a transformation instantly. It's not just, oh, well, I'm going to have a transformation and in 6 months I'll notice it. it's an instant transformation because you're instantly being able to see those images of like what's going on and being able to tap in. And I think it's a really cool visual and proof of concept of what we're doing. So, time to snap. So this is kind of the end of today. Time to do the snapping, time to just go out there, take these tips and practice. So things to remember today is to point your toes. Something we'll go into a little bit more tomorrow. Connect your hands to your body. Breathe and listen to yourself. Most important thing I tell my clients when we're shooting together is just like breathe and listen to yourself. Listen to me as I coach you, but also just listen to yourself. Where's your hands want to go? Do they want to come up into your hair and pull? Do they want to like touch your shoulders, touch your knees? Like allow yourself to listen deeply to what your body is feeling and wants. You're gonna be surprised how powerful that is. I also want to remind you that all bodies have stretch marks, dimples, and imperfections. So when you're taking these and you're noticing things about yourself that you never saw before, like take a look and notice that everybody has those things, and how you would actually talk to a best friend, to a puppy. Like puppies have wrinkles and they're so cute. And like, how can we talk to ourselves like a puppy? How can we like notice these beautiful divots that are new on our body and like what they can create with art? So that is all we have for today. Almost. So if you got to this point, you are all done with today's workshop. You got your settings, you got all the things that are going to take you to start doing the practical work. Tomorrow, we're going to get more into the embodiment of what it looks like to do a selfie session. So I'm going to do one with you guys. We'll be in the studio tomorrow, and I'm going to take you along like some of the stuff that I do, basically going through the ritual of what I do. And if you're in here live, maybe we can have a live conversation about it. So what are you feeling after creating art with your body? Is some of the questions I want to ask you. If you're really taking this to the more self-love and transformational space. So what are you feeling after you created this art with your body? Is there anything that came up for you that you were surprised by, or just like that came up while you were doing this? Did you feel any relief, any excitement after taking them? Did you feel like a burst of energy? Did you feel, maybe you didn't feel those things. Maybe it actually was really hard. Was it hard for you? What made it hard? What came up for you? And noticing like, if was hard for you, allowing yourself to sit in that. Don't give it a story so much. Something I tell my clients is like when we have big emotions coming up, I want you to remember, I'm going to kind of come on camera here. I just want you to remember that you don't have to love every picture. You can just take them for what they are right now. I have clients that tell me that even in their shoots with me, they're like, I didn't like this picture when I saw it, but in 6 months, how much I loved it for like a different reason. And the things that I didn't like about myself, I actually really love now. And to take that mindset into it of like, I don't really like this part of me right now. Maybe just sitting with that. I tell my clients, don't give that feeling a story of your worth. Like, I don't love this because because I'm not enough. I don't like this about me because like I'm ugly, or something like that. Just feel what it feels like to feel sad, or what it feels like to feel angry, or to feel uncomfortable, and let that move you. It's a huge practice that I really started to do, and it's helped me move any traumas or discomfort out of my body because I really allow myself to feel it. It's definitely a practice, and it's really uncomfortable sometimes. But I feel like with the work of doing, we do a lot of exercise and movement in life, but creating art in a new way, and bringing it into the healing piece of us is just like chef's kiss to me. So that is all I have for you guys today. I would love any feedback you have on anything that you learned that's new. And I have one more thing for you. So let me go back into my presentation real quick. We are doing a little challenge, something kind of fun. that I put together because this is an embodiment practice. This is a way of like that may need a little bit of time to integrate into your system. Maybe you're like, I really just came here to learn camera settings and how to take better pictures. Yes, you learned that. But maybe you want to take it a little step further. And so for those of us that want to play with it, and it doesn't have to necessarily be like anything crazy, I have a Telegram community that I started that I will be emailing everybody. So you can jump in there. There's 7 days on the calendar starting tomorrow morning if you want. And if you don't watch all these until Monday, start Monday. It doesn't really matter when you start, but you can start. And it's a pretty cool thing that I think we get to do together, and I'll be in there helping you. Um, Maybe giving you a few tips on how to maybe change a little lighting, maybe just give you a little like, ooh, this feels really good. Maybe like bring your hand up a little bit next time or whatever. And like just to cheer each other on and celebrate us actually doing it, I think is actually very cool. I was talking to a girlfriend yesterday and we were just saying how like it's so powerful just to be witnessed sometimes. And I want to witness you in this process. So I just want to show you the calendar really quick. And okay. So this is our calendar for our 7-day challenge. So day 1 is morning light. Don't even have to do anything. Stay in your bed, roll around in your bed, find some sunshine, maybe coming through the window, and just snap a few photos. And the next day is going to be your bedroom, still staying in your bedroom. Maybe you're like a little more active. Day 3 is finding new angle, putting maybe your phone, we'll kind of do this a little more tomorrow, so this might make more sense tomorrow. Putting your camera like up on a ledge or on, I've like had a lot of fun putting mine on a ceiling fan. That was really cool. And then just like playing with different places you can put your camera. Day 4 is a close-up. So like let's get really close into our hands, into our body parts. Like what does it look like when we get really close to our neck or really close into our hips? Like how can we make art with those and like play around? I put this one as lamp light because maybe you want to do this at night, but like use different lights. We have a lot of twinkle lights in our house. So maybe you're using twinkle lights, maybe you're using a candle, different things to just kind of light up your body. And then pick a new room in the house. So is there a kitchen, a porch, a hallway, an entryway that you want to like always take pictures in? We have a really cool like area where we have all of our plants. I've never taken photos in there, so I think that's where I'm going to do day 6. And then 7, I have go nude. You don't have to share a nude with us, but like maybe you are coming up with a sheet, but like allowing yourself to be completely naked. If you've never done this before, it's actually very liberating. So as I put it at the very end, and work yourself up to that. So I'm gonna stop our presentation. And I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope to connect with you guys in our Telegram group for our selfie challenge. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. All right, have a good one. Bye.